This is Mac OS Ken.
Talk of more expensive iPhones, less expensive MacBooks, and a new way to pay for Apple services in China. It is Thursday, the 14th of August, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Two of the biggest stories going right now have to do with rumor and speculation around prices for Apple hardware. Like an elevator, they're going both up and coming down, depending on what device we're talking about and whether the rumor and speculation pan out. We'll start with a piece from my download blog that has the cost to get into an iPhone 17 Pro going up by $50 versus a corresponding phone from the 16 line. That would bring the Pro phone starting price from $999 to $1,049, though it would come with a spoonful of sugar. Supposition in the iDownload blog piece has Apple doubling the starting storage in the new unit from 128 gigabytes to 256 as a way to justify or mask the hike in price. If that sounds familiar, it should. In 2022, the piece reminds readers Apple increased the entry-level price of the iPhone 14 Pro Max to $1,099, and with the iPhone 15 Pro Max in 2023, the company removed the lower storage tier while simultaneously pushing up the price to $1,199. Apple's marketing boss Greg Joswick framed the move as matching last year's price with this level of storage. As for this year's alleged price increase, it comes via both rumor and speculation. The rumor is from the leaker Instant Digital on Weibo. Meanwhile, the speculation comes from Jefferies analyst Edison Lee, who said last month that he expects every model of iPhone 17 to go up by $50 in the US, not just the Pro phones. The increase is said by Lee to be due to the 1-2 combination of rising component costs and tariffs on Chinese imports. For a more interesting thought exercise, there was a lot of talk out there about a $599 MacBook. True to its name, Mac Rumors rounds up rumors around the Mac. Those started at the end of June with a post from TF International analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. According to Young MC, the fairly affordable laptop will feature a 13-inch display, come in a few fun colors, and will be powered by an A18 Pro chip. That's said by Mac Rumors to be about 40% slower than the M4 chip, but comparable in performance to the M1. That would basically make the machine a replacement to the M1 MacBook Air, currently selling at Walmart for a suddenly familiar-sounding $599. Now, all that got support this week from Digitimes. They've got Apple's low-cost laptop coming in with a 12.9-inch display, an A18 processor, and a price tag between $599 and $699. Now here is my reaction to this idea. Why? A long time ago, like before 2010, I kept wanting Apple to make a low-cost Mac for market share. They had made the move to Intel at this point. You could run any program built for Windows through virtualization. Kids just kept going back to school and buying new laptops when they did, and businesses were starting to notice the Mac. The hang-up on all of that was price. Sure, they last forever, so over the years, the price ends up being decent, but the starting price was a serious barrier to entry. Now maybe you're thinking that a $599 MacBook would be good for the education market. Over at Apple Insider, William Gallagher and Malcolm Owen think that that ship has sailed now that Chromebooks can be in every student's backpack for as little as $200. They see the $599 MacBook as a Halo device, a gateway computer. Lowercase g, obviously. Would a $599 MacBook sell well? Almost definitely. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But wouldn't a $699 MacBook sell well as well? Or even a $799 unit? Why wouldn't Apple pad the price by $100 to $200 and maybe use that profit to keep prices lower on iPhone and Apple Watch? As mentioned earlier, Walmart right now is selling the M1 MacBook Air for $599. Does Apple retail want its polished wood, low light, refined interior to invite the slogan, always low prices? Or does $599 at Apple mean $399 at Walmart and Amazon? Once again, I am curious what your thoughts are. Not necessarily whether Apple is going to make one of these, although, yeah, if you want to chime in on that, why not? Does releasing one make sense to you? Send your thoughts on a $599 MacBook by email, info@macosken.com, or leave a comment on Mastodon, macosken@mastodon.social. I haven't forgotten about the AI question, by the way. We'll wait one more day for answers on that, then see who said what tomorrow. News of a potential new payment method for Apple services in the Middle Kingdom. The South China Morning Post says the Cupertino company has reportedly started testing Douyin Pay as a new mobile payment service in the China App Store. Never heard of Douyin? Well, you've heard of its parent company, ByteDance. Douyin is basically TikTok for China, with a monthly active user base of over 766 million people. Assuming it makes the cut, South China Morning Post says Douyin Pay will be the fourth payment platform to support and/or be supported by the App Store in China, while it's expected to join Alipay, WeChat Pay, and Union Pay. There is no word in the piece on when that might happen. I do all of my TV watching through my Apple TV, so I missed the part, or forgot the part, where Netflix did a big redesign of its viewing experience. That's because for some reason, Netflix waited months to roll it out to Apple TV. Now a piece from my download blog says they've rolled it out. As for what's new, Netflix version 3.0 does away with sidebar navigation according to the piece. Options are now in a top navigation bar, including search, home, shows, movies, games, and My Netflix, which replaces the old, non-branded My List. Finally, program info is said to be more detailed and distinct, with art that expands automatically when highlighted with the Siri remote. In iDownload Blog's view, the new interface feels much more like a proper native Apple TV app than something created for generic TV devices. That makes the complaint that the new interface took months to get to Apple TV kind of funny, but it's there now. Happy viewing. And finally today, Apple's next movie for the big screen hits the big screen this weekend. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac reminds readers that the Spike Lee joint Highest to Lowest opens its short theatrical run tomorrow ahead of its September 5th premiere on Apple TV+. A tease of the film from Apple says, when a Titan music mogul widely known as having the best ears in the business is targeted with a ransom plot, he is jammed up in a life-or-death moral dilemma. Denzel Washington plays the mogul, Jeffrey Wright and A$AP Rocky are also front and center, and overall, critics are digging it. Early reviews have earned the film a 92% score on Rotten Tomatoes, pulling from some reviews pulled by 9 to 5 Mac, IGN Movies says the film begins as an austere class melodrama, but soon gives way to some of the most exciting, visceral images of Spike Lee's career. Daily Telegraph out of the UK is pleased, though not excited. Ah well, they say, everything old is new again, and as remakes of world cinema classics go, Lee's film makes an irresistible case for its own existence. Time Out apparently wants to call Time Out on the film, saying Lee has made stunningly good crime thrillers, Clockers, and 25th Hour, but like his protagonist, here he appears to be struggling to stay relevant and still use his own unique voice. Meow. The review from Vulture seems to hear Lee's voice, though. According to that one, Highest to Lowest reminds us, however clumsily, of how much the entertainment industry has shifted, with mentions of the attention economy and the internet. Then it turns around and makes a vivid argument on behalf of going out and doing what you love, whether anyone else agrees with you or not. I'm hoping to see it on the biggest screen I can find. If you go, let me know what you think. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handle by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.